So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the last review class of ISTD Noida Chapter. We had a first class at 10 o'clock in the morning, taken by Ms. Sima Sinha. And this is the second class for paper 2, Instructional Design. Right?
Yes, sir.
So, shall we put PPT and try to review what all we have studied and then accordingly, if we have something to discuss, what way you want? Any idea? Any question you have? Because since morning I have been discussing about various exams style, exams pattern, and any question queries, right? So if you have any queries, I think first I will try to resolve that and then we will move further. As far as the today is concerned, in this session, I have again made a presentation for the overall subject and paper review so that you are well aware about what are we going to cover in this particular paper 2, instructional design. And then you get an idea of how you can appear for exam and do well. And don't take this paper easy because instructional design is supposed to be the new one, and especially when the people ask question, they ask very various kind of questions actually, so you have to be ready and answer to meet those requirements, right? So you must have, if you have any doubt, you must clarify, because I have my observation is that this paper is really tough in the sense because the terminology used in this paper, instructional design, is quite new. And as you all must be aware, I have emphasized on these things since beginning. So that is my main motto, to clarify, because that is what we all want. We all want new things to happen to our life, new things to learn, but very few we want to unlearn something old, and that creates a lot of hassles basically, because we always remember those old things and accordingly react or reflect or keep doing things. So I always give a warning to the people. That is not the way you are going to face the new situations. To face the new situations, you must be ready to unlearn the old and obsolete things which are not relevant today, and try to grasp the new happenings, what is taking place in new context. So if you have doubt, I think you can ask some questions. I will be happy to clarify. But we have to take things forward, and I wish you all should do well in this paper. Any question? Atul, Rupesh,
No, sir.
Not at present, sir.
huh?
Not at present, sir.
Not at present. Okay. Today's task is the same. We'll do with the course review before we conclude. So as I have been insisting on, we should be very clear about our curriculum, syllabus, what has been given to us. And questions will be set based on these only. So question could be of any type. You are in organization, you want to design an instructional program or training program. So in current context, how you can use the resources. And if you read the course curriculum also, I think it is vaguely written those perspective. those narratives. And that is what I think you should always try to think. The course will provide an overview of various design modules and focus on processes, tools, methods, and procedures for initiating a training design project. That includes organizational analysis, job, task, content analysis, training needs, and resource analysis. Writing and sequencing of functional objectives and performance measures, specifying instructional strategies, assessing relevant characteristics of trainees, such as learning orientation and motivation, and designing sessions, associated activities, and instructional oblique course material. Right? So I have reflected few of the salient points of this curriculum and syllabus. And if you remember, those who have attended my class on a regular basis, I think most of you, if I remember, have attended my class on a very regular basis. You will remember I have emphasized on these things. How can you design training design project? How can you deal with the training design project? How can you deal with the training needs of today's time? That is what we need to do. And how can you analyze the resources, what are available to us? You see, in present circumstances also, when suppose we conduct online classes, you remember we all have to work on our existing resources. We have to have laptop, desktop on which we conduct the session or attend the session. At the same time, we have to have like mobile devices, we have to have connectivity, we have to have camera. And as we were just experimenting today, you see the background also. We have to have a good camera and good speaker, good mic. So all these things, and then coming in the right perspective, and then designing the sessions. So that is what we all need to do in the current context, right? Any question? So if you see the paper 2, it was divided in 6 different segments which covered the 6 class. And I think again and again I have emphasized on this. It all started with a training need analysis, which you all are aware. TNA, TNI, you all are aware. And then we knew about the training need analysis. What are the things which we cover? And some of you must have studied these things in your other courses as well. So you know how these things are explained, and then how these things are covered in the course materials, right? Then we explained what are the how this TNA and TNI things have changed to design, how the word design has been introduced, and we call it training design, and we make the complete paper on this. So in third class, I think I just try to emphasize on understanding what are this training design, why we call it design. And with design, if you see, there are a lot of now new segments or topics are emerging. And now even thinking, we call it designer thinking type kind of things. So you can't think normal, you have to design things basically. So training design basically evolved because of those design aspects, and design aspect has been introduced because the complete resources and training needs have changed. So that is what we try to establish the contacts. And then we finally went for training objectives, and development of training, and transfer of learning or training, what we call it. That is the way we covered the syllabus. Right? Any question?
Sir, in first class, I mean, first session, it was discussed the key functions of training agencies.
Uh-huh. Key
Agency
functions.
is key functions of training agencies.
Okay.
So training agencies means the agencies which are involved in providing training on different topics and all that.
You see, if you read these two books,
Yes, sir.
one by Devender
Agochia.
Agochia
Yeah.
and other one is
Janaki
Janaki
Ram.
Ram. I mean, they have covered these things.
Yes, sir.
You see, as far as the training is concerned, training is not basically only with the organization. Organization also may have the separate training department or training agency, as
Right.
well as some of the activities may be outsourced to other agencies. So when we call it, suppose training agency, so anybody who are in this chain, starting from your organizational HR head to anyone who agency or organization who are involved in the training. So that terminology is generally taken, and that is what was explained. So
Right, sir.
you have to explain about, just imagine like Sudeep Jaiswal, he is a freelance trainer or
Right, sir.
consultant, he call it.
Yeah.
So if he conducts a training, he becomes a training agency kind of
Agency.
thing, and then he provides those facilities to the organization or their requirements.
Right, sir.
When he has to design some training program for a company for particular segment of the people or particular uh, trainees, so that design has to be done. So
Right, sir.
we can call it that agency.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
If suppose in organization there is some department, also in some of the organization this may happen. Like if you talk about the big organization like NTPC or BHEL, if you know the public sectors, they have their own training department, and they have the complete schedule for a whole year. They will
Right, sir.
train this people, this people, this people, and all those things. So that department may work like a training agency, but
Right, sir.
certainly in this book also it is reflected, and you all with your experience you can appreciate the training department may not be well conversant with the current change and development in the suppose technology or requirements or even the knowledge. So
Yes, sir.
they have to take help of some agency. In that case, those are also involved in the training process. So you can always connect with those and explain. But
Right, sir. Right, sir.
ultimately, the basics, if you see what I discussed in the beginning, starting from the syllabus of instructional design, if you see, so I mentioned about so any training you want to design, you have to go through those steps, and those
Okay, sir.
steps are very simple, starting from the TNA, training need analysis, TNA.
Yes, sir.
So that analysis design AD model, if you remember, and those 6 steps, so those are to be taken help of basically to do this training need analysis for any organization, any agency you have, they will go ahead like this. And then because the training design, now you are well convergent because of the, you joined ISTD or you are undergoing this particular instructional design paper. So you now are little more well convergent because the technology and resources have changed, the need have also changed. So instead of just doing the training program, you can use the word training design.
Design.
So training design you have to do. Now, if you think of training design, then further steps are like you have to decide about the training objective so that there should be some standardization, and then development of training, and then you have to think of transfer of learning, how the real learning can take place. So those steps are to be
Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
taken, right?
Right, sir. Thank you.
So coming to instructional design, just definition, because as I said, this terminology is new and it doesn't go in mind very easily. And especially, you see, as a human, what the problem comes when we reflect, when we reflect, we reflect in a very old and traditional fashion. We don't utter a new word in the new situations. That narratives generally we don't develop. We generally follow the same old narratives what we have been doing. So please remember, because this paper is new, instructional design is new, you must get hold of few of the new words, new sentences, and new narratives. Please remember. And then you will be able to do better in this exam. So we will work on this definition again, right? For your simplicity. And then you must ask different kind of questions to yourself and even to me to understand why this design and how this serves the purpose. So the definition is plain and simple. I'll just read it out. You all can see, Rupesh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can see it.
Someone
Yes,
can
sir.
read. Someone can read this. I think it will be good.
Instructional design ID, also known as instructional system design ISD, is the practice of systematically designing, developing, and delivering instructional products and experiences, both digital and physical, in a consistent and reliable fashion towards an effective, efficient, appealing, engaging, and inspiring acquisition of knowledge.
Can somebody explain little bit? Arnav, Arnav Sen Gupta. I love this man, Arnav. Are you there? Sonakshi, Priyanka Chauhan. I think Atul read it. Rupesh, can you explain a bit?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain instructional design? Just try to explain few of the points. Please try to understand, because this complete, this word is new, this nomenclature is new, and definition itself is new. Instructional design is a practice of systematically designing, developing, and delivering instructional products and experiences, both digital and physical.
Physical.
You see, instructional design itself came because of this digital thing, what I understand. The design concept was not there before 90 in training.
Right.
We thought of there is a design requirement for training. But since 90, the people started feeling, and in 2020, third decade of 21st century, even in India, we are studying about it. So this is quite new. Till now, you have not studied any such things. How can we design, systematically design, developing and delivering the instructional products and experiences in the form of digital and physical? Still we get a chance, we try to work on so much on a physical thing or conventional thing, but how to design the digital way, we feel very ashamed to ask queries or even try to sort out issues. And even when we have to design something to introduce those digital aspect, we feel not very comfortable, right?
Yes, yes.
So it must be in a consistent and reliable fashion towards an efficient, effective, appealing, engaging, and inspiring acquisition of knowledge. And that is what we need to do. So we must understand. And I think Atul Gupta, I will again disturb him. He
Yes,
is
sir.
from a company, I think quite updated and latest, and they, you must be having some training already built there.
Yes, sir. We have different training plans built already,
If you
different design setup for different people.
correct, if you try to explain a bit how the training design is basically experimented there, because I understand in your company things are there in a very new fashion, new way, but that has to be explained in the right perspective. So can you
Yeah,
throw
we are
some light
completely
for
have
one
moved,
minute or something?
just like we have completely moved towards the experiential learning.
Okay,
So not like a proper classroom training where there's somebody's training and people are listening, making notes, appearing for exams or asking questions. We get involved into different discussions, have different activities, different videos based on the video, and everybody's given a chance to talk upon, ask questions. It's a different setup. I mean, within the training team that I've been working for so long, in last 4 to 5 years, it has completely moved towards a different thing. So it's no more trainer, it's or instructor. It is more of a training facilitator job that we do.
that is what I think. You are right. So any other guy, could you get something out of what he has just said? So there also, if you see Atul taking
Yes.
further for you itself,
Uh-huh.
instructional design, and there you have to think of how you can improve in those existing design system which have been handed over to you, or you are working on that. So that is the challenge of the basically professionals at every level.
Yes, sir.
Any other? Could you get what Atul mentioned just now? Anybody has?
Sir, best example is our paper itself also, because instructional design paper is a new. I mean, I think introduced in last year only, I think. So the curriculum, the contents, everything was designed.
Yes.
So I think
Right. I think we must take cognizance of these things before we develop the design program or instructional products, and then think how it can be transferred efficiently, effectively, appealing, engaging, and inspiring. Right. Okay,
Right, sir.
Dipesh?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
And instructional system design, ISD, or instructional design, is basically instructional technology, learning experience design. All these terms are interchangeable. So you all must get used to of repeating these words again and again. Instructional design, instructional technology, learning experience design. And then you should unlearn those the old concept to accept these new words and new terminology. So whenever you suppose even in exam you write for any question, preparing the narratives, you must use those words like instructional design, instructional technology, learning experience design, and instructional system design, and you should use them interchangeably, comfortably, right? It is important to understand that the learning resources include online courses, instructions manual, video simulations, and any other format in which the instruction takes place. And as Atul mentioned, it is not no more the conventional classroom. And the COVID also basically, which happened to humanity, and thanks to our Prime Minister and government, Modi government, they remain proactive basically to extend these digital framework, digital experience to the whole country. And even the children in school could experience online class. And COVID brought those changes. And recently, I think 3 days back, I was reading just one statistics I would like to mention here. The more than 70% of the employee feels they can work more productively from the home, work from home, rather than they go to office and then they delivered. I remember in April, May, June, everyone was very hesitant. How can you work from home?
Right,
But
sir.
after 2 3 months of experience, I think now they have become expert, and now they feel they can work better from home than going to office. And even company may feel, and few of the company, I think, I'm not sure about Atul company how they have moved, but few of the company I remember which came in the newspaper, as I'm a very passionate reader basically of getting
Mhm.
these updates. For these updates is even the company like Google or Amazon and others, they have extended this work from home for another year or so, and they are going to continue the same working.
Yes, sir, in our company, we have been told to work from home until at least July end of this year, and it may further be, increased. And training department has completely moved for a very long time to work from home. If only there's some trainings required the trainer to be in office, then only trainer will come. On an average, 2 to 3 days in a month, and rest of the days will train from home. They
Correct.
have we have been given infrastructure right from desks to a big size monitor, TV panels to put in the background, smart boards, everything, all the setup has been done in our houses so that everything can be done from home.
The company has provided all those.
Yes, sir. Everything, right from the best quality chairs to desks to
Oh,
everything.
great.
Infrastructure, different monitors.
ISTD is behind this. ISTD has not provided laptop or this camera. Basically,
Okay.
this is all my personal thing. But your company is much better. Certainly is better. So you see that kind of scenario we are developing, and even I think Apple also they have agreed. They have extended the work from home culture. So those resources in the new perspective we are required to develop, uh, even even on our own also we want, because a lot of parents whose children are in schools and they want online classes. Like Atul says, his company has provided. Uh, Parents are also trying to provide those resources to children, so that they remain they get knowledge through online courses, online classes. And you see, all of a sudden, suppose this pandemic came, and one of the finest thing, I mean, engineer like me, I did engineering in 1985, and from 2005 onwards I am working on unlearning and trying to tell people, you unlearn the old way of doing things and try to acquire the new way. It is so difficult in this country to propagate something new. Um, but even suppose this farmers strike which is going on, if I talk to any Punjabis, even ex Air Force officers, they are they are not ready to listen my words and these changes. They are not ready to accept those changes. But those changes are there in the ground, but they are not ready to accept. The young people have a dilemma basically, or have a confusion, or they are getting misguided. Basically, they think if they do less of digitalization, they will have a better life, and something like vaguely, because of their people who are not ready to change. So they feel that can be done. So generally, it is the misguided situation basically, not otherwise. If you talk intelligently, you must be ready to accept the change which have taken place, whether it is happening in India or it is happening across the globe. Thanks to pandemic, I mean, these changes have been taken so natural. I mean, now if I tell people, you don't attend online sessions because it is becoming too much, so they will say, no, 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 it is very comfortable, I just attend, I go to even metro and I attend the sessions. So now they are very well convergent. So anything new learning becomes very, very difficult. Otherwise, once they are compelled to do, now they feel that is the new way of doing things, and they are very comfortable, and they never wanted the old way of doing. So that is what happens. But anyone who keep struggling for bringing this change, it's a huge challenge. And that is what you as a leader, I mean, you all are trainers, you all are leaders, you have to take these things forward and make sure that things are communicated and updated on a regular basis and taken it forward, right? So use these new narratives and take things forward, right? The most current branch of instructional design focuses on how to integrate technology, the internet, and human computer interaction in state of the art methods of designing and delivering education. You see, we must try to integrate what we have, the resources, what we have, and try to improve it, whether we, with the internet or with the human computer interactions. We have to think how we can improve the design and delivering education. So that what I think before I started this class, I told Atul to mention about in Zoom also you have this feature. So basically the human computer interactions you can improve. You can improve how the background can be changed. And there are a lot of features like even PPT showing, like I am showing when I am a host. Even others, or you all can show PPT basically, because it has given option of a multiple sharing of PPT is available in this software. So it is important to understand that learning resources include online courses, instructional, manual, video simulation, or any other format in which the education takes place. So we must be updated and move on, right? So in the current perspective, when we talk about the online training, so instructional design is basically this terminology are thought of because of the online training. Now that is a separate issue because of pandemic. This has come and now we are more comfortable with the online things. We are more comfortable with working from home. And after 7-8 months, basically working initially 2-3 months, we had a lot of problems. But after 7-8 months, we find we could be more productive at home rather than going to the office. In the beginning, the people used to tell office environment is something very important. Still, that those things is maybe still valid, but overall you have to think in the current perspective. Overall, you have to think what is the best, and that is the way basically evolution takes place. So my forecast is in the years to come, because the technology also has improved, because the reliability of these systems, computers, as you saw in the first class, suppose there was some interruptions, so we get used to of those interruptions. We try to think of improving those resources, and then certainly the things will improve. But in the new environment, that is what we need to do. So once we do it again and again, then certainly things starts improving, and then we find we can make it more efficient and better. So especially like work from home also, if you have the better environment in your home, you can conduct, you can specify the place where you can sit and work. I think you can achieve better efficiency and effectiveness. And because of the pandemic, certainly they forced us to change. And I'm not sure if any one of you watch this CNBC Awaz business channel. Am I there? Do you watch CNBC Awaz?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. If you watch there also they get connect even TV channels, even in other channels also. They connect with the people online. So the analysts or experts are sitting at home. They have their own space and area, and from there they come online and they talk to they give expert advice to the people, and they get connected because they have the two-way connection. And this Zoom also came, and plus other software have also come. Government has also, Indian government has also issued many software. I have seen all these IS officers and ministers, they also keep conducting the class like this, or sessions like this, in addition to the other resources which they have been using earlier, right? So
Yeah, the same technology, sir, at the time of Bihar election, the same technology they have used on Aaj Tak I have seen actually that time. So the all the, I mean, correspondents are at their home and they have connected in the
correct,
studio each and every.
correct.
So this technology was used at the time of.
So basically, we have to think of online learning needs to be efficient. Online learning needs to be engaging. Online learning have to work hard, learners. So work hard in the sense it's a new way of doing it. So naturally, you have to put efforts in the similar way. Like suppose I'm telling instructional design, this paper is new. So you must remember few of the terminology, get used to, and you must reflect those words and sentences and narratives in your answer sheets as well to get better results. Right? So we remember we learned about the ADDIE model in this class in the beginning, first one or two class. ADDIE model is nothing but analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. So it all starts from there, and instructional design basically they starts from here, TNA analysis, and that we use. So in exam also, if anything suppose comes any kind of questions, even in general, suppose some department or even you all have submitted your assignments.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh.
Yes, sir.
So even in assignments, if you see, the question was of a general nature.
Right, sir.
In an organization, how can you make a design? How can you work for objectives? How can you ensure the transfer of learning takes place? So we have to think. Even in exam, the question will come like this, general. So you have to segregate these chapters and then answer accordingly, depending which part you need to cover or emphasize. And then you should be able to connect from analysis part to objectives to transfer of learning to development of training, right? So you know all these things, and then you should be able to answer those things, right? And the 6 steps which we mentioned earlier, it starts from identify problem needs, determine design of need analysis, then collect data, analyze data, provide feedback, and develop action plan. Uh, these are the TNA process,
DNA process.
and we, we proceed. And as I mentioned, I will repeat here again. In your book, you must read to understand the how the like you mentioned about the training companies or what was the word, Rupesh?
Training agencies, sir.
Training agencies. Yes, training companies or training agencies.
Agency. Right, right. Sir.
Uh,
Same, same.
so if you see in your book, they have mentioned about those training agencies, what is the way they need to do. But because at that time, you see the present resources which you have, starting from either mobile phone or desktop, laptop, internet, Zoom, Facebook, social sites, Twitter. I mean, all these things were not there. So, unfortunately, you will find those words are not mentioned in these books. But please remember, and I am
Right, sir.
telling you again and again, to explain or write an answer to this instructional design, you must mention those current words or current sentences and current narratives which you are experiencing as a professional. So if you do it, you will do very good in your exams, right? You understand?
Right, sir.
And then I always in my class or in my any lecture I conduct, I mean last 10 15 years now it has passed. I have been telling people, although people generally feel very apprehensive, sir, how does it matter? We are not concerned. I'm not telling you are concerned today about these changes, but those changes are happening, gentlemen. Those changes are happening in front of us. Before pandemic, the people did not accept there is a need of online classes or there is a need of any such thing, online seminar, online conferences, online meetings. But today, because of the pandemic, thanks to pandemic, we find we have to do most of the things online. It happened. And now, please remember my words. Now, in the years to come, because we have seen, we are forcibly or forcefully uh, was forced to accept a new thing like new technology and online things. And now we find these online things are more efficient and effective. That realization, I think, will drive the world in the years to come. And you know why it will drive? Because of the singularity. If I could have got another class, basically, I would have mentioned about the singularity, and I will invite you all people in your organization also. If you at any times you want to understand the emerging technologies, or like you want to understand, or you want to make sure that your staff understands about the emerging technologies, I think you can call me for the discussion on singularity, call me for a talk on singularity. I think it is so important. And that singularity is a indication, what I understand, like singularity is an indication for technology to arrive or evolve, basically. And that is what is happening last 15-20 years. It is happening in front of my eyes. It is happening. And I'm very happy we have a present government who is very proactive on accepting digital thing and digital way of doing things. And that's why you will find the present government, Indian government, has lot of enemies within itself who are resistant to those changes, and they are not encouraging and they are not appreciating those changes. Those old and outdated people will certainly die down fast, and they will be sidelined soon. And you will find the new India which emerge, they will be more proactive, they will be more digital. And when the our prime minister talk about the 5 trillion economy or 10 trillion, I think recently I was so excited to read, he plans for another 10 years 10 trillion economy. So he's not resting there making 5 trillion economy from 2 trillion or 3 trillions to 5 trillion, but he wants to take it further to 10 trillion economy. And 10 trillion economy, gentlemen, if it happens, you all trainer will have tremendous responsibility to use a smartphone and network, to use the power of singularity which is going to come. So be prepared and drive yourself and try to keep learning new things, but keep unlearning also the old one, and then you will be able to achieve things. So coming to, in the new perspective, coming to the objectives, the need of objectives, uh, if we just revise the objective part, it provides direction to the program. It serves as a basis for evaluation. It's a tool for meeting participants' training needs and a defined limit of the program. So objective is basically what it standardize your instructional design aspects. So that is the way you should write for any training program. If you want to write, so you must specify the objective. What are the objectives for the training program? And it should provide direction to the program, serve as a basis for evaluation, and there you can make out how this program is working, and define limit of the program, right? As far as the types are concerned, types of training objective, it could be from the trainee point of view, trainee reaction objective. Then it could be learning objective. So what are the things we learn from this, right? And then it could be like transfer of training objective. So transfer of training objective means with the instructional design, whether we have been able to achieve the objective of transfer of training. So that is what we need to specify. Then organizational outcome objectives. So starting from trainee to learning objective, transfer of objectives to organizational outcome objectives, whether organization has been able to achieve the objectives, what we have set. Right? We discussed about the areas of learning also. And areas of learning could be like cognitive learning, behavioral change, and affective change. So in these three terms, we can say in cognitive learning, we could be like acquisition of information and knowledge, basically based on including concepts, theories, principles, and so on. So we learn about theories, we learn about principles. We basically learn we get information, various kind of information, so that we can take wise decisions. We can take wise decisions, and then we increase knowledge so that we become wise. If our concepts, theories, principles, and so on are good. Similarly, behavioral changes that will help bring improvement in performance. Behavioral changes, how do we face critical situations? How do we face emergencies? Suppose even online class has to be done. How do we face this situation? We attend the class and then we make the best use of it, and then try to improve it, whether voice is coming or whether we are getting comfortably or not, we are able to get things. So we have to have our change. We have to have behave in a very right fashion, and that is what in any training I think we try to achieve that. Then effective changes help in fostering the appropriate values and attitude, mainly for personal development. And this values and attitude, initially me as a, I'm the basically unlearned guru, as the people say, because in the whole world, I think still the people are not talking much about unlearning, and you will not find any thinker or author have written a book on unlearning, and they have said. So my book was basically the main thing to understand the content is basically how to improve from your existing situations to the higher level you dream or you desire. And for that we have to work hard. So there I have not covered much about the values or attitude, but subsequently I find in any training that becomes very paramount. Unless that value and attitudes are given, are attached to it, any training, the training outcome or training objectives per se will not be achieved. So that has to be become an integral part. So I will say, you all as a trainer, You all as a trainer, besides giving the cognitive learning where you give information and knowledge, then behavioral learning, because you have to face the different situations, you must ensure values and attitude are imparted. You must ensure the people are more of a nationalist kind. People have the love for the country. People have the love for the discipline and law and order. People have the respect for authorities and lawful activities. Actually, unfortunately, you will find the most of the trouble which takes place, it's because of the unlawful, because they don't understand the values and attitude, and they create a lot of nuisance in this society in different ways. Even if suppose they are in JNU or they are in a big universities, they they don't learn right things, and their attitudes are not good, and they remain dangerous in the some way or other to society. So that has to be basically make sure that does not happen. Otherwise, any kind of training, we do online training, we become so rich, we become very prosperous. Earlier the people were thinking, if we become engineer, we become doctor, we become educated, I am professionals. We are not involved in the antisocial elements, antisocial activities. But unfortunately, you also must be seeing it doesn't happen like this. People get graduation, post graduation, highly educated, even they are highly employed, they are earning well, but even though they are involved with the antisocial activities, and that becomes the responsibility of all the trainers, basically, to make sure that does not happen. Right? Any question till now?
No, sir.
No? You remember this diagram I emphasized, basically
Yes,
just to
yes,
understand the instructional design. And
yes, sir.
this block diagram, you all should remember, I think, contest, what do we call it? And you must use this in your program. And starting from TNA thing, is starting from in the green, which have been shown on the top, then set out objectives of training program. Then after development of training, in development of training, you identify program contents, set out topics and areas to be covered, and then break the content into subtopics and modules. Classify modules as information, knowledge, skills, and values. So whenever you conduct any training, you must see, like training need also, we have mentioned, categorize training need as information, knowledge, skills, and values. So one thing, you get some information, some knowledge, you get skills, but at the same time, you must develop values, you must develop attitude, you must develop a behavioral change. Otherwise, understanding all these information and knowledge, suppose you know everything about singularity, you will not be able to achieve the objective or end results in the long run, because that is a very tiresome journey, and very few are able to. Even you all, I'm I, if I may not be wrong, you all must be thinking you want to become a very big trainer, you want to earn good name in society, and you want to earn good name in life. But all these things does not happen easily. You have to slog. We all know, all cannot become Narendra Modi or Prime Minister. All cannot become the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, and all cannot become Baba Ramdev. Even if suppose you want to do anything, there are a lot of must be thousands of agencies who are doing yoga, but no, all cannot become Baba Ramdev the way he is doing things. So to become there, you have to pass through lot of stages. where you deal with the knowledge, information, skills, and then values. You have to have all these things integrated. And then finally, if you see the learning objectives of each module, training methods, allocate time, material equipment, allocate responsibilities. So whether we call it the training agency or learning agencies, it's their responsibility, or you as a trainer, when you are developing training material, training products, you must make sure all these things are taken care. The training methods, allocate time, material equipment, and allocate responsibilities. That should be clear. So this block diagram, I feel you must flowchart, block diagram we call it, must be context to you, and you should be able to replicate in your exams. And I hope you will do well in doing this. Right? We mentioned about the design theory, and there are three design theories: elaboration theory, simplifying condition methods, and Diagonal big brick theory. Those theories which are mentioned in the book. So in case if question comes any such things, you can remember these three theory and you can explain. Elaboration theory, I said there could be a topical sequencing or a spiral sequencing. In topical sequencing, every topic we pick one topic and then start with the simple one and then move to the complex one. In a spiral sequencing, we address the different topics at a very simple level, and then we develop the complex one. So that is the way elaboration theory are developed. And that is the way in training also. You try to organize a training program in the same way. The simplifying condition methods, it's a basically, it is given by Charles Reglut. All complex task has two forms, simple and more complex version. Is based on two parts, epitomizing and elaborating, more complex version. So in simplifying condition methods, we issue the epitomizing methods of the task. It's the simplest version of the task, and that is the just to introduce the people. In similar way, like suppose when I talk about unlearning, lot of people keep asking lot of questions, serious questions, that goes at a very complex level. So at that complex level, you cannot understand. In my case, suppose I am working for this particular idea for last 20, 30 years. So I might explain you everything, but for you to understand, I must put in a very simple form, and then subsequently, and that's how you will see in most of the training program is conducted like the simple one or basic one, then moderate one, and then complex one. So that is the method we use basically for building or developing the training program. And in Gagné-Briggs theory is a micro theory of design applicable to cognitive, behavioral, and attitudinal learning. It provides a set of procedure for each instructional event to facilitate. Mainly, it identifies 9 events of instruction, which is also shown. The 9 events of instructions is gaining attention. So these are the requirements basically for the training, I mean, your program development. Informing the learner of the goal, simulating recall of prior relevant learning. You see, in our class also we try to conduct this the way. Present material to be learned, provide guidance for learning, then elicit the performance, and then provide feedback, assess performance, enhancing retention and transfer. So these are the events we in normal. I mean, you all as a trainer, you also you must be doing. But now after this, I think you could be more systematic in doing step by step things, starting from getting attention to provide feedback and assess performance and enhancing retention and transfer. So those all these steps should be met, right? Any question? So when you are deciding about the development of training and development of instructional design or instructional products, so you must have the topic and modules based on these. Like it first, it gives information, right? And then subsequently it starts talking about the some knowledge worth knowing, the present and future career, future objectives, and then it should develop the competencies and skills. And there we must make sure the information or knowledge both should not become obsolete soon and help to build future. There also a lot of people may have confusion. You people are not asking question, but there may be confusion, sir. Knowledge, how can it become obsolete? Any one of you has such question? And then finally, you must make sure the attitude and values for a great life that are shaped in your objectives in your training program. Yes, gentlemen, I would like to know the comment, like what I said, information and knowledge, can they become obsolete? Obsolete. Please, anyone, बताएं. Hello, Priyanka, are you there? Anupama, Sakshi.
Sir, can you repeat your question? What is the question? You asked that can knowledge and information become obsolete? What your question is?
Your voice is not laudable. Please speak near the mic.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay, sir, I'm asking what is your question? Your question is that can knowledge and information become obsolete?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sir, in my opinion, like as per my understanding of knowledge is when you have some structured information, that is basically the knowledge. So I think yes, with passage of time, the information and knowledge as well can become obsolete because let's take an example something which is recently not in been used, and if I'm using the same thing, I'm having knowledge of that thing. Let's say how to operate a computer. So nowadays the time has moved to the laptop and palm tops, right? So I think that knowledge of knowing how to open a laptop computer, I think that is of no relevance in the today's scenario. So I believe that yes, knowledge and information can become obsolete.
Correct. You are the
So
trainer of
it needs regular update.
you
Yes,
are
sir.
a trainer of a young origin. If there will be trainer of an old origin, like the Brigadier Saab who takes class 4, they will say,
Yes.
earlier we had a projector. You remember? Even I can quote. You remember we had a projector kind of thing?
Yes, sir. When
And,
transparencies were there, I saw that during my college days. So we have
you
to
saw that.
the marker on
So
the
we had
teacher
like
used to
a
come with that.
projector, and then we had a slides.
Yes.
Transparencies were
And
there. We used to write with colored pen.
yes, with color
Absolutely.
with the mask. So
And
that time also, in fact, we yes, sir.
even in ISTD also in the beginning we used to take class with that in 2005 or 6, I remember, long back. Some of the thing, or when I was doing MTech in IIT Mumbai in 90s, 93, 94. I remember that time we used this slides. So there also there was a lot of skill, like how to write, how to make it more attractive. And if you see, those information and knowledge may not be relevant, and they are just not needed and required. I mean, to young boys and girls today, why should they know much about those things? No? So they
Yes, sir. They are not relevant anymore.
correct. So,
Those are found in museums only.
so in the current perspective also, like Priyanka mentioned about the computer, when we have the laptop, or I think Sudhir, you are using tab. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
in that context, if you see, those information also may not be relevant, and because the smartphones are becoming more powerful, basically more powerful than computer, so slowly and slowly they are taking over most of the jobs of a computer, or the smartphones are taking the job of even what we call TV screens. I mean, earlier we were very fascinated about having a TV sets. Today, I think you are very comfortable in surfing the net, or even seeing the new channel, or seeing the Narendra Modi on Facebook updates, Facebook Live. So those things can be acquired, or even for the training also, as Atul also mentioned, the new perspective, like you can go Facebook Live, or you can have a meeting on Instagram. Have you heard about these? You must, and all these things are going on. Priyanka?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do. In fact, the face of technology has changed so much. In fact, I
Do you
would like to
speak
conclude.
near to a speaker? Your voice?
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
Yes, sir. So nowadays, even a small child doesn't take that much of pain even to type, right? So in that case, you also need not to tell him that which is the space key, because my 7-year-old son, what does he do if he want to find something? Instead of asking what he does, he put on this mic on this Google, and then he, whatever you want to ask, he asks. Okay, who is the Prime Minister of India? So then it will automatically be typed there. And I was amazed, like he came and said, Mama, you know, Santa is not real. Manka, why? Mama, I will tell you. And then he just spoke before me that is Santa real, and the entire Google was started speaking that Santa is not real, it is this, that, and then he started narrating. So in that case also, even so, the knowledge of key, this key is for a space, this is key for this. So I think that has also been not been very much into the consideration nowadays, taking this recent example of the
Yeah,
situation.
you
So
are
this
correct.
is,
I
yeah.
think you mentioned about her child, I think 7 years, or a very true
Yeah.
story. I think I also I remember, I mean, recently, 2, 3 days back only, I was telling a young guy, 10, 12 years, you must know about odd and even numbers. Odd and even numbers. So that guy didn't know odd and even numbers. He's in class 6, and I gave him homework. You find out what is the odd and even numbers and tell me tomorrow. After 2, 3 days, the guy tells me, sir, what is the need to remember? I think I can always Google if there is a need. I'm like, no, you will not do it like this. You go home and remember all the odd and even numbers and tell me tomorrow. So you just remember this. Then I had to insist on the guy, this is not like searchable or Googleable information. You must remember, and this is useful. So it becomes very tricky basically to what knowledge or information you need at hand at any time basically. So that you as a trainer should always look for and take care. And there may be many such information as we discussed, mm, may be obsolete and should not be relevant, and we should not emphasize basically for the people to keep learning those things, because they may become obsolete soon, right? So that has to be taken care. Okay. As far as the alternative method of instruction, in your book, this is given computer based training. They call it alternative method, but I consider this word itself may not be very true. And this may be main methods of instruction as on date after post pandemic. So we must find out what are the advantages and what are the methods. And 2, 3 methods are given here, but certainly these you can write for exams, or in addition to these, you can write your own thing, and then you can add few of the more latest methods, and you can add advantages which we have been discussing, I think, in all these classes. So you can add those. And I always insist on the leadership which goes on, like present government, Modi government, they drive the society in a big way. So when you write questions, you must explain those things also, what is happening at a leadership level in the national or international level. So that gives emphasis or future prospects, future appreciation basically for the trainees to get. And when you answer, you must also use those events and situations to explain the new perspective, rather than in your rut kind of thing, keep writing the old thing, how the HRD used to function earlier. No way. And you must mention the new events, new situations, and new narratives, right? So transfer of learning, I think, starting from the development of training, decide on training methods, allocate time, what we just mentioned there in the block diagram, delegate responsibility for management and administration, establish mechanism for monitoring and evaluation. So all these things you must make sure the transfer of learning takes place. And then focus of learning, as we mentioned, studied in the class earlier, the positive transfer, zero transfer, negative transfer. So these could be 3 kind of transfer of learning, which we mentioned: positive, zero, and negative. It's plain and simple. You must remember. What are the factors influencing transfer of training? It's a general principle, conditions for practice, general principle, other factors to facilitate transfer of training, knowledge of results. So other factors to facilitate transfer of training is knowledge of results and goal setting, right? So as far as the conditions of practice, one is you give some information and knowledge, and then that information and knowledge is not only good enough. You have to get enough opportunity to practice those things. So you must create those situations It could be either massed or spaced practice. Different kind of practice we can adopt. The whole or part learning,
Correct,
over
Paji.
learning, maximize similarity, and vary the situations for better practice. Yes, Sudeep, you had something? Okay. And especially I can say, and you all also must have experienced, because from the beginning level to the very highest level, where I have been involved with the training, and I personally feel we have to create so many kind of situations basically for the practice to keep things moving up, keep things moving up, because that is also not very easy. The people generally would like, it's a human tendency, they want to keep doing what they have been doing at a very low level, and they don't want to even grow to the higher level even if there is a need. So that you must make sure as a trainer, change the situations and keep moving up, keep moving up. Atul, I think you,
Yes, sir.
will you like to say something in this, how to move up basically when you want to do some practice or you want to make sure the training achieve its objective and outcome? I mean, are you getting question? Huh?
Trying to understand the question, sir.
No, I mean my question is that mm, how to move up, uh, up the ladder. Because in my personal training level I have seen it is so difficult if I want to make the people keep moving up the ladder and raise the level. You can switch on the video also if you want. Now the class is over. Another 5 minutes and 2 3 minutes I will wind up. You can switch on your video
So okay. So, sir,
if you can.
your question is that how can we help others move up the ladder when we are training them,
Correct, correct. This is what
and
the,
how to set a stage for them to, aim for higher and higher. Is
yeah,
that the question, sir? So
yes.
I think the first thing in the experiential learning that takes place is, the leader leads by example. So, uh, things that you're talking about, so, the practice of that is to be, uh, how could I put it into words? It is more,
Sudeep,
lim-
freelance. In the meantime, you can keep thinking. I think I'll just ask others also in case if they can throw some light. Sudeep, are you there? Anupama, you have not spoken today. I think she may not be there.
sir, I can give an example.
Ah,
Right, during these days in pandemic, when I'm training from home, uh, we talked about, having videos, but just not the videos that we have decided to be part of it. We have different platforms that we give access to people, which is LinkedIn Learning, and we ask them that, and it's a free access which is given to them. There are a lot of courses from the Harvard University to University of Queensland, and so many places in the world. We talk about, for a particular topic, if you want to master on this, courses from these different universities are available on our Dell Learning Studio, and people must go through them, and people feel at the end of the training they get a certificate. uh, so some people we are able to really motivate, and these people learn and excel in those areas where we are already training them. And the best part is that it's self-paced learning. We give them access over their phones, not necessarily to be in front of their computers to be learning. So I think it is a mix of technology and all the platforms that we make them available for is also that also comes in handy, for their overall improvement and raise the bar of
Right.
learning.
Thank you very much. I think from my point of view, this remains a huge challenge, and how to raise the level at individual level. You as a trainer also, you must keep raising your level from step by step, step by step. This
Yes,
is
sir.
my urgent request, as well as the concept. And at the same time, you must make sure the trainees whom you train, they also should be able to achieve the level, next level, nicely,
Yes.
right? Facilitation for transfer, we need supervisor support, peer support, trainer support, reward system, and climate and culture. All these are very, very important. Unless until there are the system, you cannot achieve big. And that is what we need to make sure. So if you want to do uh, a small level at your level, it's a personal level. But if you want to achieve big, there has to be a huge team, and you must be work on a bigger platform and make sure things goes as per that, right? So keep raising level every time. And training design is a great paper if we consider all kinds of dynamic environment beyond our perceptions. So for uh, unprecedented time which are going to come, I think that is very important for us to make sure we study these paper in a right perspective. Right, Atul?
Yes, sir.
So I finish here, and good luck for exams.
Thank you, sir.
Any question? Sudeep, you came and went away.
Yes, yes, somebody actually just came, so just I was trying to get rid of that fellow.
Ah, no problem. So now you are in the class.
Yeah, yeah.
So any question? Now I finished.
No, sir. Fine.
Right. So any question if you have, you can either email me or send me on my WhatsApp. I think I will
Sure.
try to answer as far as possible.
Sure, sir.
Right,
Yes,
Priyanka
sir.
or anybody? I think now this is a lunch time, and you all should have lunch before you be ready for the next class at 2 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah.
2 o'clock. Yes, sir.
Right.
Right, sir.
Any question? Atul?
No, sir. No question.
If there
That's
is no question, then I'll take bye.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you, sir.
sure, sir. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And see you next time
Thank you, sir.
at 2 o'clock.
Sure, sir.